Bro, is he good? Alright, that's the front. Good entrance to the podcast, just Auggie crying.
Dogs.
So, give us a little entrance as to, or give us a little explanation as to why Augie's here.
Yeah, this is Auggie. This is my dog. Zach's gonna watch him, cause I'm going traveling.
Yeah.
Over the summer.
So pretty much he's an excellent navigator. He's explored the entire world by now.
Yeah.
And he just has one more place to visit.
Yeah, Antarctica.
Yeah.
Last continent.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to Antarctica.
Yeah. Mr. Beast video.
Yeah. You know, you can go. You can go. You can do like day trips to Antarctica.
Oh yeah. So, what do you think? So, what's your nutrition looked like in the past couple of years? What would you say? Going up to this point, and how has it improved over time? What is it looking like now? What would you say?
Yeah, so I guess I didn't really. I mean, I've always been conscious, kind of. After the pandemic ended, I've been conscious of, or ended, I should say, like after 6th grade, kind of when it was all online. Yeah. That woke me up. Like, that was horrible. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you don't care, obviously. Like, I'm not thinking about how much macros are in my Jello.
Yeah.
But after the pandemic, like the Zoom era of pandemic, that was just horrible. Like, that woke me up. Like, I can't keep eating Dino Nuggies all day.
Yeah.
So what I would do for a while is you remember I was super skinny in 8th grade. I just didn't. I don't know. I definitely didn't eat enough. I would just do like lunch would be like 2 PB&Js and like an apple or something.
Yeah.
And like that's not enough food. But that was definitely healthier. Like I lost a good amount of weight, and I grew like 4 inches from 7th grade to 8th grade.
Yeah.
So yeah, that seems a little bit much, but that was something around there. And I feel like I've refined it better, and then now it's just I don't really care about how much I'm eating. Like I'll like how much food. I don't track that. I just eat.
Yeah.
But I definitely care about the quality of it.
And so would you say, because at least that was what it was like for me, I'd say probably a year or 2 ago especially, would you say your added sugars probably are like more like single digits like every day? Which is like better than 99% of people still. Probably like single digits, I would guess, right?
I don't know. I can't. Tortillas don't have added sugars.
Okay.
Whole wheat tortillas don't have. Sourdough bread doesn't have added sugars. So like, nothing I'm eating is having added sugars. Where I think we differ is that I don't think it's horrible to go one day to BJ's out of the month. Like if I'm gonna finish sophomore year with like pretty decent grades, I've earned to go to the Cheesecake Factory, and I'm not gonna look down on that. I don't think.
Well, by
horrible.
decent you mean 4.0. That's what you had.
Nah, that was glazed bait. I'm sorry. But no, yeah.
You're just trying to be humble, and then in reality, you're just trying to get that out of it.
No.
What?
I'm joking. I'm not trying to get you to say that. That's why I didn't say it. It's not the point of what I'm talking about. I'm saying that if I did something good, and I want to reward myself with like some not super healthy food, but food that tastes great, I'm not gonna look down on that. Would you look down on it?
Well, you said no. It was just funny how you said like decent grades.
Yeah,
like,
I would call
better
it decent.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
You're focusing on the wrong thing, bro. Would you call the Cheesecake Factory like okay? If you did,
it really just depends what you mean.
If you accomplished something like I don't know, if you won a powerlifting championship or whatever, and everyone was like, let's go get a victory meal after, like, are you just gonna say no? I have to go to bed at 7 o'clock.
Well, it really depends. I mean, I've only done that once so far, but.
Done what once? Done that?
The 7 o'clock thing.
Oh, okay.
But if we're talking in the summer,
I thought you meant powerlifting.
But if we're talking, if we're talking like in the summer, and I've done it for like a month straight, no excuses, then I don't know. But normally, probably not. I mean, but I don't know if that's the best example because it's only something I've done like once so far, like 720.
Well, that's not what I was. Would you go out to eat somewhere?
Wait, I really just depends. Like, would I go out to would I go out with them to the restaurant? Yeah,
Like, is it-
probably? But would I eat? I mean, it depends what we're eating, but yeah. I mean,
I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I know you've heard of the 80-20 rule, like how 80% good, 20% bad. Is it really horrible to break the consistency one time? I guess is what it is. Because I would disagree. I'd say it's not.
It all
horrible,
comes down to I mean, everyone tells me that, right?
Mhm.
And it's just it all comes down to okay, one. Wait, hold on. Before I because yeah, just in case it doesn't, because it's died and ran out of storage like multiple times by now, so I don't want it to do that when we're in the heat of it. Okay, so it really just comes down to the first thing I was saying. When most people talk, I think most of the people that talk about moderation don't really do, like, in my opinion, their moderation is like 20% good, 80%
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
Like, there's this flip, the complete opposite. And I think the dangerous thing is that so many, like, whether it's my grandparents or wherever I'm going, like, where they're like, I feel like pressured to eat a certain way or eat unhealthy. It's almost like taboo to be the way I am, where I'm like all bad. But no, not all bad. Where I'm like
good.
Yeah, like all good, like all only strictly healthy, like clean food. Whereas for someone else, if they're the other extreme, like obese, no one really bats an eye. I mean,
Really?
that's what it feels like, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, because what you're doing is more radical.
yeah.
I mean, that is a fact.
And the only
And
reason
that's
it's more radical, and if anything, compared to the obese version of it, or that extreme, is that because less people are doing it.
That's
That's probably the main reason.
That's what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Man.
Shush, buddy. Augie doesn't care.
Where-
He just eats kibble all day.
Yeah. Sitting on a shelf for a year. I don't think he cares about processed food.
No, that's the most processed it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. We can't get you the farmer's dog. I don't know why. My parents.
Good thing their taste buds are all jacked up compared to us. They don't care what they eat.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the 80-20 rule even is all that, because I don't see it.
And who even came up with, like, there's no specific number too,
No,
like
there isn't.
80-20, like
That's
80-20.
just a saying for people to
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
to help them do 80% good instead of 50% good.
Yeah.
But I still think 20% is too much bad food. I mean, but like once in, like I've been to the Cheesecake Factory like twice in my life, including when I went after school, and like I'm not gonna. I got like a chicken parmesan. That's not even.
But a lot of it also has to do with just if I feel like if I don't really like feel like I have the need to eat like that certain food or crave that certain food, it's like why wouldn't I just keep doing what I'm doing? And especially because of the way I eat too, what I've noticed is when you actually eat that clean food, because I also eat a lot, but even when I'm not eating a lot, my body's naturally like trained to where it's like I have the discipline, I have the willpower where I can go without eating. I mean, it doesn't really faze me all that much, because then I can just eat a ton later. Like, it doesn't really matter.
I've caught myself thinking that a few times, bro. But yeah,
like that's what I've done a lot of times too, so I don't sacrifice sleep. Like, instead of making dinner, like a lot of times instead of eating late, like I've done a lot in the past, I'll just fast. I'll do a spoon of salt or whatever and 4 glasses of water, and then call it a day. And then the next day I'll just go back to normal and then eat. And then it actually helps. And then I wake up earlier too when I do that. So
I've heard you don't want to eat.
It's not about fasting. I don't do it on purpose. It's just if I didn't make dinner in time, if I don't want to make dinner super late, then that's what I'll do.
I've heard that you don't want to eat right before you go to sleep either.
Yeah.
That's not.
Well, it's harder to go to
growth.
sleep.
That's not optimal for sleep.
Yeah, like apparently something about like, I guess food in general, but apparently like you don't want like too much glucose in your body before bed or something. That was the specifics, I guess.
But yeah, I think what some people come across when they're like, I don't know, considering should I eat healthier, like one of the main problems is it's easier to eat junk food. Like, that's a fact. It's easier to just go to McDonald's than research all the levels of processed food and all, like what's the best option at the grocery store, and then go out and get it, and then it's going to be more expensive, and then all this. Well, okay, actually that might be something we can talk about, because people say it's going to be more expensive, people say it isn't going to be more expensive to eat healthy.
Well, it's actually interesting. I
That's
saw some
interesting.
videos of Paul Saladino, or even it's hard for me to take Santa Cruz that serious because of like the neon thing. He kind of looked like he looked interesting to say the least. Like he got rage baited, whatever. But you know, when you look at, there's videos of like Paul Saladino, he'll show like prices of ground beef versus like a thing of like a large bag of Doritos or something.
Yeah.
Where it's like half full too, where it's not even that
Oh, yeah.
much. Where the Doritos is like $7 or something, and ground beef you could get for like $5.
I don't think $7 for Doritos is insane.
Well, like for like a big bag. You know.
Wow.
I don't know. But it's just like that junk food's actually gotten like more expensive.
Mm.
Which I'd imagine a lot of that, I mean, there's probably more demand now. I mean, obviously there's a lot of supply too, but
Yeah. So there's,
that might have a lot to do with it.
but yeah.
Yeah. So, well, how do you know for sure? Or never mind. A better question would be, when it comes to seed oils and things like that, would you say how much of that do you consume? Would you say?
Seed oils?
Do you consume any seed oils at all or no?
I don't eat anything though. I don't eat chips. I don't eat. I mean,
Well,
but
it's
I
interesting.
don't think they're as bad as you say they are. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, no, I mean it wasn't to be fair, it is something that one of those things that's kind of just gained traction.
Auggie, come on.
But they're definitely not something I want to consume. But the main two things I was thinking of before is just, staying away from added sugars and staying away. That's number one is added sugar, because that's the root of like pretty much every terrible thing in your body you're developing.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
And then number two, it's just ultra processed food, like processed food in general. The lower the ingredients, the better. And I don't know. Number three might very well be just, but I guess it kind of like goes along with, it's kind of like a more specific when it comes to like ultra processed foods or processed foods or junk food, all that stuff. That's just like the general thing. And then one of those things is seed oils. Like one of the little things in fast food and junk food and ultra processed food is seed oils.
Yeah.
So that's why for a while I'd never really thought about it. It's just when you eat less junk food and ultra processed food, you're gonna naturally have less seed oils or
Well,
Red
I mean,
40, all
I
that
don't
kind of stuff.
I don't think they're good. I just don't know. I haven't done extensive research, I guess, into the way seed oils are made. I definitely think so, like vegetable oil. That can't be good.
Well,
What
vegetable oil isn't. It's pretty much the
There's
same
no
thing.
vegetable oil. There's no vegetables in it. I mean, obviously. But
Yeah, but it's pretty much the same. I think vegetable oil is just another way of saying seed oils. I think it's just the same thing. Like it says on the ingredients.
What are the canola oils? That's one of them too, right?
Canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, palm oil, all of them. Those are like the main ones.
But not. I mean, stuff like. Okay, but not olive oil, right? That's
No.
not okay.
But
I'll use olive oil.
butter is actually the best. Because butter has 1 to 2%. So apparently, I don't know exactly what's so bad about it, but I know a linoleic acid, which is like the polyunsaturated fats. There's 1 to 2% in like animal foods like beef, butter, all that kind of stuff, and then there's like 10 to 15% in avocado oil and olive oil, and then there's 50% in seed oils. So that's a big part of like what makes seed oil so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, butter is king anyway.
Yeah.
Dude, bro, put butter into everything, bro.
Yeah.
It makes everything taste better.
So I was getting primal this morning. I got up at 4 a.m. and then, even though I was doing some other stuff before, but like around.
What'd you do with 4 a.m. time?
I actually got an assignment done.
Nice.
And then
For statistics?
for political science.
Oh.
And then
Oh yeah, I gotta ask you about that.
yeah, and then what else? I did that. I drank my water early so I didn't throw up, whatever. And then brushed my teeth, washed all that stuff. And that was kind of took a while. And then I kind of just, I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but I do know at like 6 or 7, that's when I started, I went outside, started sawing, I grabbed the saw, started sawing the branch, and then got the branch, started cutting into little pieces, and then actually made a pretty juicy steak with it. Would have tasted better I'd gotten the steak on like Friday and just made it last Friday and now made it this Thursday. So I was cutting it close. Yeah. But the cool thing about that is that a week old steak's not gonna make you feel like terrible like a week old chicken breast or something. That's why I feel like red meat's made for humans. Like it's the main thing that we need. Like I had a week old chicken breast and I thoroughly cooked it. Like some of the worst stomach pain probably worst I've ever had in my life. Yeah. It was like for the like that night or like maybe the next day.
Dude,
so.
yeah, bro, it smells so bad when I like leave chicken in some container in the fridge for a while.
Yeah. Alright. I've got like PTSD, bro. From losing all the battery or not having enough storage.
You just gotta get a Jamie to do that, bro.
Yeah. Or have Nico behind the camera watching it all the time.
Poor Nico.
And Nico could become Jamie. Because I don't know about Riley Edwards. Well, actually, it's probably not Riley Edwards behind that account. I think it's the other guy.
Yeah.
It's probably the other guy.
How do you know?
Well, he commented some interesting things on my episode 9.
Oh, yeah.
Being pretty interesting. All I gotta say.
We use this word interesting quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just my polite way of saying things. I don't know. That's all I say. I just say interesting a lot for that reason. Because I don't like saying the insulting words that a lot of people say.
Bro, you're doing all the work here.
What? Oh yeah. Dude, it was actually scary, bro. When it was Fernando, Julian, and Juan all on the swing at the same time. And I did the math. It was like 688 pounds total.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
Jeez. Yeah.
And like we kept tipping it over. And every time I was like the first person to tip forward. I was like, bro, chill out.
Wait, tip for what do you mean? Like the
No,
whole
like
thing?
like that. I was like, bro. I'd always like jump, bro. Every time.
Yeah, dude.
Where'd
yeah.
Sienna go? Mom take her.
I think she went back inside.
Bro. Auggie, come on.
I don't think
Come
that's
on.
gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Come on, Auggie. Come on. Come on, right here. Come on. Come on. You can come right here. Come on. Come on, right here. You're right here. Come on. Come on. Come on, Auggie, right here. Come on. Nice zercher right there.
All right, bro. Get ready to. It's gonna look like a hair storm hits you after you
I
get
know
up.
it happens every time I go to grandparents' house.
Here, I'll help you out.
Bro, he's my baby boy.
Sir.
Why does he like cry so much?
He's like excited. It's a new place.
But it's interesting. I don't know. Like I guess the big dogs they always cry like a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I feel like.
He has an opinion he wants to tell us.
Yeah.
And we keep ignoring.
Auggie, what's your opinion on added sugars? She doesn't like them very much. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I couldn't imagine eating processed food. I mean, I've seen the commercials for the farmer's dog and all those other dog foods, and I know that's why. I mean, dogs could probably live longer than they do. If a dog is only raised on food like that, it could live longer, but it's tough. At the end of the day, it just doesn't end up happening.
Wait, say that again. You're talking about farmers dog,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're just. I'm sorry, I didn't really listen.
What?
I was like taking it. I was like listening to what you were saying, but I didn't like.
It's just I'm saying like, it's it's the ideal situation, but it doesn't always happen. Like it sucks that we don't get to feed him the farmer's dog every meal.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it sucks that he has to eat the kibble.
You're saying because it's like expensive. Isn't it?
It's expensive and yeah, it's not. I mean, at the end of the day, he is a dog, which is like kind of cruel to say, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, animals don't really have the same, you know, as value as humans.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. But they do get easier lives. At least Auggie probably.
Not Sienna.
Oh yeah, seeing Auggie.
He puts in the work, bro. He goes on runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should get like a what are those things called? Like a stationary treadmill. Where you could just run on it.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Just run him.
Hmm?
Just run him. Why would you do that when you can just run him outside? That's why I don't get. The only reason, okay, I guess, I think treadmills are helpful when it's like super sweltering outside, like when it's super hot. and you know you need to get a run in, I think that's fine. But any other reason than that, treadmills are, I don't think they're a good choice.
You think he agrees? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, well, the main thing with treadmills, honestly, is just, well, I like that it allows you to like force yourself to go like faster, like 4 or 4.5 for like a power walk or whatever. Because normally usually I'm not going like 4 miles, or at least not for like an extended period of time, like 4 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But or just especially like the incline too. That's the biggest thing. That's a big one. That helps a lot too.
Yeah,
it's a way better workout for sure. Like with the incline.
Yeah.
Way more shelf.
It's so much more interesting to run outside than in your room, I guess. I don't know. Or in a big gym.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't really even run. Well, speaking of running, I mean, I don't really like jog anymore. I never really like run anymore.
No, it's not.
Like what I only really do now is I'll do cardio. I'll do those like cardio machines like every once in a while, but mainly my main sources of exercise outside of lifting are pretty much, it'll be whether it's my track practice or wrestling or things like that, or if anything it's either sprinting or walking. I'm never really jogging because those are the best for gains anyway. So
Yeah.
and just jogging or fast jogging or running for a long period of time, it's not as good for gains, like I said, and then it's just not fun. You know? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't enjoy it that much.
Yeah, why is it not as good for games?
Well, so walking, for example, the sole source of energy is fat, and then whereas for sprinting, you're increasing your hormones, and the sole source of energy would mainly just be like glucose, like whatever you ate that day or whatever. And then, but then when it comes to fast jogging, running for long periods of time, there's kind of a gray area. So where it's kind of burning a little bit of everything.
Really?
So that's why like you don't want to listen to people who say like, oh, don't do cardio, but there is something to be said. I mean it's probably not going to make a noticeable difference, but it does probably burn a little bit of muscle. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because I don't ever want to be in a situation where
think
I
about
get
it, walking
winded after like a few steps. Like I don't ever want to be caught, like if I want to play soccer with like my friends later in life or something and I can't do it because I have no cardio or no endurance. I think that's not the best thing.
Yeah.
But walking, then that takes forever. So
well, yeah, I think the walking and sprinting, if anything, will still translate. You know, as long as you're, especially if it's like warm-ups or something, like it's not like I'm like completely avoiding it. It's just it's not like the main thing I want to do. You know?
I don't think I'm ever getting back. I don't think I'm ever getting back to that 4:57 mile. That was a one-time thing.
Dude, we should just like train for it's actually a thing like the walking Olympics where they like try to walk,
I saw that.
which is actually insane. They got like 5 minutes. They got like 5 something. So which is still mind blowing. That's like impressive.
But at that point, what are we defining as walking?
Yeah, that's
Like
thing.
how fast can they go max?
I think the main thing would just be you can't have both legs off the ground at the same time. That's probably what that'd be. Yeah. So that's interesting. Either you'd have to do that or like hide it somehow. Yeah.
Hide it from the slow motion camera in the Olympics.
Whew. Have you ever tried backwards walking?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. No, because you break your wrist doing that.
Oh yeah. It's amazing for quads.
Yeah, that's right though.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds right. Like quads, that's better for quads than hamstrings is regular walking.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'd be too scared someone put a hurdle behind me and trip over it.
Yeah. I'd also be scared if people don't get the story right too.
So you want to tell the story?
Okay. Wait, let me see. All right.
How was that wrong? Weren't you walking backwards on the track? Someone left a hurdle out.
No, so also I don't know. I don't think I probably wouldn't have broke. It honestly would have been better if it was a hurdle probably.
Oh, what
was
was
it?
it
I
then?
probably wouldn't have like. It probably would have stopped me from.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
What was it?
It's hard to say. But it was okay. So I was running backwards on the track. I think I only did like 400 meters, but I was going fast. It was like a light sprint probably, or like I don't know. Anyway, and as I was running and just because I was running backwards, so I wasn't walking, and I was on like the last part of like the 400. I did like breaks in between each 100 meters, and I was on the last one. Like I was probably last 50 meters, and then right as I was getting to the end, these girls had left this high jump cover, which never happens. The high jump cover was literally on the lanes,
High jump though.
and they like screamed like a second before I hit it, and then
geez.
they were like, or not screamed, but like they told me like watch out, but it's too late. It was like I didn't hear them, and then yeah, I tripped and broke my wrist. But yeah, they were definitely plotting against me.
Oh jeez.
That's what Julian said. Julian
No
Marshall.
way.
Julian Marshall.
You
thinks
think they did that on
plotting against
purpose?
me. That's what Julian said.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, they saw you running backwards and specifically put it right there to make you trip.
Well, I don't. I mean, I feel like they
know.
would. I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I was doing it for 400 meters and breaks in between each 100, so I would assume someone would maybe see and maybe
can't
try to
assume.
let me see.
You can't assume.
Try to tell me. But that was a long time ago.
Assumptions lead to
That was freshman year.
dangerous road. That was the end of freshman year.
Yeah. Yeah, last summer was interesting too. I think this summer will be sick for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so how would we never really got to talk about the last day of school and how sophomore year went down.
Yeah.
So how would you rate sophomore year?
I don't know. I would say I think for life experience, definitely 10 out of 10.
Really?
For sure. Yeah. I think
What do you mean life
for
experience?
enjoyability, I'd have to give it like 6.5 out of 10 probably.
Really?
And then yeah. Yeah, I would say those would be my two ratings, I guess. Two main things.
Yeah. So life experience is a 10.
Yeah.
So like what you learned?
Yeah. And mistakes I made. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then enjoyability is a 6.5.
Yeah, it was like 6.5.
I don't know. That's not that good. What was how compared to freshman year then? What was freshman year? That you remember, I guess.
Okay. I think freshman year, like, probably development and like life experience, probably a good. Actually, no. It's actually more. I would say, at least.
Auggie. Sorry. Auggie. At least what?
Probably when it comes to life experience and development for freshman year, probably. Hard to say.
Less.
I'd say like 8.
Oh, okay.
And then enjoyability, it's hard to. It's interesting because
Just do it in relation to this year.
Well-
That might be easier.
their enjoyability. I mean, they were difficult in different ways.
Yeah. Okay.
I was in much more physical pain freshman year for sure. I had
injuries.
almost pretty much disability, like for sure,
Jeez.
for like at least 4 months if there was a disability, and then for another year after that, just still pain. And I mean, still now it feels interesting every now and like probably every day I feel something.
Oh,
But
really?
I just don't really think about it anymore. It's not as big of a deal, especially because I've got stronger. So. But
Yeah,
I was
but-
like cracking and popping whenever I.
Mm.
But yeah, so enjoyability, I guess compared to. It's so difficult to say, but like. I don't know. Probably a 7.5 maybe. Yeah, I'd say
7.5?
probably still 7.5. Yeah.
So more than this year.
Again, that's hard to say. I mean, especially if we're not counting like the past couple months.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Wait,
because
what do you mean? Not counting?
because every couple months almost. Well, obviously it's seasons when we're talking about fall, winter, stuff like that. But every couple months you enter, I feel like I enter like a new season. You know, it almost
I see
feels
what you
like.
mean.
Yeah.
No, 100%. But we're counting the last couple months.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
So I
was
don't
a
know.
part of sophomore year.
So maybe. I don't know. So maybe both like 7.5 then. I don't know.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
give this year like an 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably a 9. It was dope.
I think definitely the past
Dude, especially
No, actually, I don't know what I was gonna say. Just
especially the last like whole month was just dope this year. Like I was just cruising, like nothing mattered, literally.
yeah. Well, we're gonna have a lot of things start to pay off by next year, so that's cool for sure.
Yeah, next year's gonna be crazy, dude.
And hopefully, I'll still be stuck on that, and I'll still be on that same path too.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, one thing. I don't know. Well, say your last thing because there's something I wanted to bring up.
Thanks. It was the best part was like the last like 3 weeks of school. No work even mattered for me.
Yeah.
Like I was just going.
Oh yeah, that was kind of funny too.
Bro,
Yeah.
the best thing was like
Well, the finals too.
I would just you experienced the same thing. I would just like I would just leave the class I was in because I wasn't doing anything and just go to like I would ask the teachers permission obviously, and they would just let me go to my friend's class just because I like whatever class my friends were in because I literally had nothing to do. So I just hung out. It was basically just hanging out all day at school, and my teachers were chill. Bro, my chemistry teacher would play like Uno and stuff with us.
Yeah.
It was chill.
Well, especially because of the class, especially like the AP classes. There was literally like,
oh yeah,
we were just like, what are we doing?
we were watching movies and yeah, but
just peeing everywhere.
and that's what's gonna be crazy next year, dude. I mean,
Dude, he better as long as he doesn't pee on the weights, then I'll be.
He's not even peeing. He's just like
I saw a little
marking
bit.
his territory.
Why? Okay, I saw a little bit come out. So I don't know. Bro, if he peed on the weights, bro, oh my god.
He's not gonna be.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't do that.
Just tell him no, and it's cause it's a new place. That's what dogs do. That's what humans. Never mind.
So, if you're done with what you're saying.
Well, next year, I'm like all my classes are gonna be APs. So then the last month, like when we all finish them, it's gonna be crazy, dude. Like I'm just gonna be chilling for a month at school. It's gonna be like just go there and do nothing all day.
Maybe as you find yourself with more time. I mean, even before then, I'd imagine. I don't know. You'll probably still be pretty busy until. But maybe in those pockets, especially like those month-long pockets or whatever, maybe you should like dedicate to trying to like see if you could do something as simple as like content creation, like I've been doing, because I feel like you could go somewhere with that for sure if you dedicate to it.
I don't know how much I want to do that though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just pretty fulfilling for me. I mean, the podcast, I like doing. It's just something I like doing. I think
That's
and
really
I think
great.
I could go far with it because of the passion I have for it,
That's
and
great.
just how simple it is over the long term. I mean, it's not that difficult at the end of the day. So the main thing is just scheduling, and which hasn't been too difficult. But sometimes here and there, people will be weird, and they're like they don't want to, or whether they don't want to do one alone, or if it's like, or if it's I don't know, just for whatever reason they don't want to come on. It's just like, but other than that, it's pretty cool. But so anyway, a big topic I wanted to discuss with you is, in times of our life when we enter a rut and how you can like escape it. So I just thinking like, have you experienced that before and how have you gotten out of it?
What do you mean a rut? Like, what would you classify as that?
Because what I personally feel like, I almost feel like liberated in the past couple weeks. Or just,
liberated?
Yeah, just in the past couple weeks, it almost feels like liberated. And I don't even want to speak too soon, but I have no doubts of what I'm going to do this summer. But it's just, it almost felt like uncontrollable, like the failures that or like almost like unavoidable. I guess unavoidable, like the things that were going wrong, or the things I was doing wrong, like in the past year, and it's just like for a while, where it's to the point where it's just like it felt like I couldn't escape it, and it's just, and I wouldn't even think about it. It's just things like that, where like whether it's failing classes or just things, or not being able to get up in the morning, or not lifting that often, just things like that, where it's just like,
Well, I haven't experienced that kind. I've definitely experienced trials and tribulations. We all have. There's no life on earth
that hasn't experienced some test, some struggle. No matter how, lavish someone's life may look, they have suffered before. I mean, that's what the Bible straight up tells us. Like, no one can escape the reality of sin in the world, and it sucks. But we can overcome it through Jesus, but that doesn't mean we're gonna have pure bliss right now, because Earth is a fallen place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've experienced. I mean, how I would say to overcome stuff like that. Well, it seems like you know how, because you're saying you have liberation.
Yeah.
But I can't speak from experience to that. But I mean, whether it's health issues with my family or moving across the country, none of those are easy. And I don't know. I kind of come with the mentality of just keep pressing forward.
Yeah.
And do everything under the guidelines of how Jesus would do it. Obviously, I'm human. I can't do that perfectly or sometimes at all. But that would be the goal, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think one of the biggest, if not the biggest things, is just recognizing that we might as well give it our all, or we might as well just keep pushing, and because we don't really have a choice other than if you're just you don't want to commit suicide. You don't want to do things like that. You don't want to end your life. That you never want to do something like that. And so you just got to recognize that. I mean, there's no really other choice but just to keep going forward, just to keep doing what you're doing. And what
okay, if what you're doing isn't good.
Well, yeah.
But
yeah.
I know.
That's how I was
I get
wording
what
it.
you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Hey, dude. And something I honestly, and it could be so what you're saying is like, I seem to have like the key or answer to it. It's like, yes and no. It might not be as simple as that, because, but what I will say that can probably be helpful to people is that when you do things that increase, it could be something as simple as just doing it over a couple weeks or doing it over a month. When you, let's say I haven't been consistent in, let's say I like stop lifting for a couple, or I lift like once a month or something, or once every couple weeks, and then all of a sudden I start lifting like every day. It could be something as simple as like hormonal changes, like having higher testosterone, like which literally allows you to do the harder things. Like it makes it easier to do harder things. So it could literally just be something as simple as that, where you're doing like simple habits that are actually really good, whether it's forcing yourself to get up earlier, or eating cleaner, or drinking a bunch of water. It's just things like that that can actually warp you over time and change your mindset over time, I'd say.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
but other than that, there's no specific, there might not be a specific thing to me.
it's very hard to say like with waking up earlier or waking up on time. You can do all this stuff like, don't use any phone an hour before bedtime, don't eat before bedtime, and don't set your alarm. But at the end of the day, even if the alarm wakes you up, you still have to make the choice to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Like no one can tell you like, do this and do this and this and this, and the choice will be made for you. Like, no one can say. You still have to choose to get up and get out of bed. Like, no matter who calls you in the morning at that time, you can't no one else can make you get out of bed. You have to do that. And there's no that's hard. That's very hard to teach almost, or say anything about that, or to learn even about how to do that, because it's just something you have to do. I don't know how else to phrase that. If you want to wake up on time, you have to wake up on time.
And with what I was saying is just, even if it's not something like testosterone, it could just be simple as it's almost fascinating to me, because obviously going to bed earlier and stuff has a lot to do with it. But even the times where I go to bed at 9:30 and when I don't go to bed at 9 or earlier, it's usually it's like done before like it's not happening. But it's like I've noticed now. I think it could be something as simple as where I've increased my discipline, where I've done habits that are increasing my testosterone or just whatever it is. That it just those habits just feel easier. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's not as hard to force myself to just get out of bed like right away like it was before. It's just simply not as hard and difficult as it used to be. That's what I would say.
That's when you get to the place of building a habit out of it. Then it's easier.
And maybe
First few times is always a bit.
and then maybe a more I guess not even so underground. Just another thing that might have to do with that too is definitely waning off the lustful habits for sure. Lustful habits, and waning off of those can definitely I think can more than I've realized transfers a lot to drive and will to do those hard things for sure. Yeah.
I feel like pretty much everyone our age knows that. Knows that they're bad.
Yeah.
And it's not an
But
easy
you don't
topic to
but you don't even realize it until you don't even realize how much better it is until you stop. That's what I've noticed too. And I almost forgot too. Yeah. So it's just interesting. Like you're saying yeah, like most people pretty much, or a lot of people know it's bad, but they don't realize how much it was affecting them until they stop it. Like how much better their life is after they stop. Which obviously I think that in and of itself, like, is not going to. It's not going to make that much of a difference if you're just living an average, normal life like everyone else. You actually have to be doing things. Like I'd still rather be, like you're like I don't know.
No, dude. On day 15, you start flying.
Yeah.
On day 27, you can lift things with your mind.
Yeah. That whole no fap thing's definitely dangerous because you don't want to etch the days onto your wall. It's more.
Day 33
I noticed
transcendent being.
I noticed the less, or the better I do with it is when I think about it less and I actually have set goals in mind, whether it's getting taller or getting 100 episodes on YouTube or on my podcast, or whether it's getting a 225 bench. When I'm thinking about those things, and I just stop, like just make the decision to stop. That's what actually helps more than anything. Not thinking about it all the time, like rather than etching it on your wall.
Yeah. It's a misconception people face. Nice. I'm glad
it's
that
like-
you've learned. Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be like Juan or Julian or whatever will ask me. They're like, when's the last time you did this, or like how many days has it been? It's like, and I'll be like I don't know, and then they're like, come on, like tell me. It's like, it's not a good thing if you actually want to stop. That's not the way to go about it, So. And I don't know what I mean, and obviously they're like, and they'll talk about it. I mean, if you're gonna talk about it like that too, you shouldn't just talk about it and then be the same way, go about it the same way.
You gotta make it.
If you're talking about it with friends and you're opening up about it, you don't want to. You shouldn't just. If you're doing that, you're just gonna become. It's gonna be normalized over time, and you're gonna accept it, and it's not gonna be big of a deal, and then you're gonna be less inclined to stop.
Yeah.
So if anything, if you're doing that, you should be like, just the best way to go about it would be like, hey, you haven't done any of that stuff, right? And then you'd be like, nah, bro, it's been a minute. And then even if, like for me, the way I've gone about it for a while too is like, a couple days, I'll keep it on my mind. It feels like a year. It feels like forever. And so it's just like I don't think about it. Just things like that.
That's great. Yeah. Definitely the normalization of it in our age group and our society is what keeps it so prevalent. I feel like, yeah, because so many kids talk about stuff like that.
But I will say it has been a couple weeks for sure. So.
Good job, bro.
Yeah. Once you get to the couple weeks, it's chilling. It's chill. But yeah. So what has your lifting journey been like so far? What's your fitness transformation been? and how is that translated into your life?
I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes you look at that super deeply, and other times it's like I just lift weights.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I'm not. There's people that are way bigger than me, and sometimes it's interesting because I mean, I wouldn't go so far to call it a transformation. Would you call yours a transformation?
Well, yeah, it's interesting if
I mean,
if
it's
we were
been
never really
over-
out of shape, you know.
It's been since 8th grade. That's 3 years. That's pretty.
Well, people
great.
make transformations in 3 years.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like for us, yeah. For us, that's like what. I mean, I guess you're kind of skinny. I was skinny. That's
Yeah.
not like I don't know.
I mean, I was probably like a completely like normal BMI, like average. I wasn't really even. I was like, I don't know. I was just like, just perfect. I guess just without muscle. I guess without any muscle.
He's defending your house already.
Because so much of it has to do with like, even if you're not eating that much, so much of it has to do with diet. Like, you know, like I feel like most of what you look like has to do with diet, and then most of lifting translates more to strength. Obviously, but like.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about like not letting it control you too much, because if you let lifting and working out become an idol, that's not a good thing. There's definitely something to be said about a healthy balance between like I want to be healthy and look fit, but I'm not gonna sacrifice what's more important.
Well, yeah,
There's definitely more important things.
Well, it's interesting now that like I don't really even find, which I'm glad I've been able to like age over time and see things differently, because a lot of guys now, I mean, even which is you'd think it's rare at our ages, but like a lot of guys now as teenagers are like hopping on gear and stuff like that. But it's interesting now, like when I look at, I don't know, classic physiques. I mean, I guess like Chris Bumstead, I guess they're still good, but at the same time, it's like, or especially like Ronnie Coleman or Jay Cutler or any of those huge guys. Like, I used to think it was like awesome and stuff, but now it's like, I don't know. It's just like I don't know how worth it that would, I don't know how good that really looks now. Like I don't see it as much of appealing anymore. I feel like me in 10 years, I will like that physique much better than any bodybuilder who's on steroids or anything. You know?
Classic? What physique? Classics? What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying my physique in general in the next 10 years when I'm at 25, 35, you know, 'cause I will be more appealing to me than say like Ronnie Coleman or Jay Cutler or any of them. You know? And especially, I mean, you got to think about the female gaze too. I mean, they're not looking at Ronnie Coleman or any of them being like, woo, you know. I mean, Arnold they were, but as it turned into mass monsters over time, they weren't. It's like, woo, woo, bro, woo. Gosh, bro, woo.
That Ronnie Coleman. Woo. All right, sorry. Ain't
No,
nothing-
dude, I'm telling you. Speaking of that,
Yeah,
what you were
buddy.
just-
Woo.
Speaking of what you were just doing, right? Oh my God. Speaking of what you're just doing right there, like, bro, I'm telling you. Okay, there's like a thing stuck in my nose that kind of hurts.
I know I was on that earlier, bro. It was gonna make me like sneeze.
Dude, I'm telling you, training your glutes is not just to attract guys, bro. You can.
Oh yeah, you want to elaborate on your view of how a big butt does what?
Does what?
A big butt does what?
It definitely appeals to the ladies, I would say.
What's your evidence? So that you have a hypothesis.
Okay.
Have you tried clinical testing of this?
Well, I have two hypotheses then.
There you go.
So, those hypotheses would probably be one, like in freshman year when I was just chilling at track practice, and this one girl randomly behind me was like, yeah. And then, I don't know, the whole track team would always be talking about, like, all the girls and stuff too, they'd always be talking about my butt. And then also one time when I was in history, like, this one girl or whatever. She was looking at this track video or whatever of me running, but like it was the Morley meet thing, and then she was saying yeah, and then she was like why you kind of cute though? So I feel like that's evidence in that.
So, do you know what percentage of your audience is female?
I think about 5%.
Okay. So
So
95% of the viewers watching this video don't focus on this question. So Zach,
wait, don't focus on.
don't worry about this. Don't worry. Zach's gonna stand up. I'm just kidding. Calm down, Auggie.
Bro.
But no, I guess yeah. Leave a comment if the bud does what.
Bro, I think, dude. Now I was showing this one dude who I think, I was showing him and this other girl, or whatever, like my YouTube channel, and I think he might go like the other way, you know what I mean? And he just, bro,
Alright,
he was,
stop.
he was watching this one like where I was on the Stairmaster. He was like, dang, nice view. I was like, bro, no filter.
Nice view.
Yeah.
Nice view. Oh my god.
Bro, it was me on the Stairmaster just dying.
That's some confidence, dude. To say that. That's actually some intense confidence.
For real,
To
bro.
say nice, like, bro. Imagine if a girl shows you a video of her working out and you're just like, nice view. That would take some supreme confidence, bro. Nice
Yeah.
view. Look, nice view.
Bro. Well, I think it's a little different. I guess it's easier if you're saying it's the masculine person. That's probably why.
What?
It's easier to. It's probably a little more acceptable. Or
Oh, I
easier to
guess
say that to the
that's right.
to the
Yeah.
masculine
If a
person,
girl
yeah.
said it to a guy, I guess it's not as weird. Like yeah, if a girl records a guy in a gym, nothing changes.
Well, the same thing with what I was saying, like, where they said yacht.
Oh yeah, imagine if you said that to a
Bro,
video of
I
that.
actually was considering. Bro, I was like freshman year.
Considering
It
it.
was like freshman year.
Considering it. What?
It was like freshman year, and I wanted to, but I feel like forgot or something, or I didn't.
Wait.
'Cause it was-
what
it would
what
be
were you
funny, too.
considering doing?
Just saying it back, bro. Yacht.
Oh, back to. Oh,
Yeah.
alright. No, I guess.
No,
I guess,
oh, you thought
I guess
something
that's not
else,
as
huh?
bad. No, I thought you were just gonna like go up to her and be like, "Hey, yacht," and then just walk away.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's kind of what they're.
No,
I mean,
that was actually first when that happened. Whatever, that would actually be a girl that would make sense to say that. That's what's funny about that too.
If they're saying to you, I mean, saying it back isn't as bad. But I'm saying like it's definitely way weird.
Because she probably has
Double
like
standards.
she might have like the same size or like bigger. I don't
All right.
know. Probably
let's
probably
move
now
on.
I'm like
Let's move
I'm
on,
like
buddy.
heavier, so
Let's
I don't
move
know.
on, buddy. Let's move on.
I'm like
Let's
150,
move
so
on.
probably
This
not.
isn't a holy conversation. Yeah. So,
What do you want to move on to?
how has your how have you been doing on the most important facet of life? Or
So
aspect of life?
yeah, I mean I would say I've been praying more often. I kind of
Nice.
do like whether it's self affirmations or praying, same thing. Whether I'm saying I'll just be randomly saying.
Wait,
just-
what is a self-affirmation?
It's kind of the same thing as praying, or if you're not praying, I'll just say things that are positive, or like
Oh, you mean
Yeah,
just like,
like
okay,
the foot when I wake up.
self-affirmation led me down the wrong path. Just you're saying like a gratitude.
well, yeah, I'll just be like I'll just repeat like Jesus' name and then like say things like that, like Jesus is Lord and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
okay. Is that what self-affirmation? That's what that means? I thought
Well,
it was
that's
like
less of a
like
self
you're
affirmation.
affirming
Just
yourself.
more just an affirmation, I guess.
Yeah,
It's more-
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
That's
I'll
that's
do
awesome.
things like
dude.
that and just say amen or whatever. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
But I haven't. Other than that, I haven't really read the Bible much. I did want to start a series thing where I just like narrate it in my voice. I feel like some people would tune into that for sure. Yeah, I got a decent voice, so pretty good voice. So
You should pat yourself on the back for that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
why?
No, yeah, that's great. Yeah, affirmations and gratitude are really important. But yeah, I would definitely encourage you to read the Bible at least every day, at least once a day.
Even if it's just like a page or
It
two.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You want to try and
Yeah.
gain something from it, though. It does. I mean, yeah, it's not supposed to be just a job. Like, because that's more important than working out. I've told you this before. It would be far more beneficial to your existence in this reality to read 10 minutes of the Bible versus working out for 2 hours? Like
Well,
in
I don't
my
do
opinion,
2-hour workouts, but 1 hour. Just say, for the example, just say 1 hour. I feel like it's better.
it'd be far more worth it to get 10 minutes of time with God than a whole workout in.
Yeah.
That's
But then
what
the
I- that's
issue
what I
just
believe.
becomes, like,
I
I
don't
think
think- yeah.
the issue just becomes then, I think God put us here for a bigger purpose than just to solely devote to. I mean, I feel like I feel like at the end of the day, I mean, we wouldn't be here if people only devoted their time to reading the Bible and praying. But, like,
Do
we
you
wouldn't.
think our purpose is to work out?
No.
Okay, good.
No, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
think about it. Like, we wouldn't be here if people only read the Bible and prayed, because they wouldn't have kids. They wouldn't do any of that. You know?
Yeah,
So that's
in
what I'm saying.
in a sense. I mean, the reason
So there comes a point.
the
like, where
reason
it's
we
like-
were created is to give glory to God.
Yeah.
So I guess you could look at it in different ways. I mean, do you know about the seraphim, the angels in heaven, the like highest order of angels? The angels that day and night, every second of their existence, they sing praises to God. Holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. You know, that's their whole existence. All they do is sing praises to the Lord in His, majesty and like in His.
Well, we can't even
greatness.
fathom what that realm is like. I guess.
I know, no, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is what heaven will be, though. Like
Yeah.
that, like consistent, never-ending praise to God. And how we perceive things, you're like, wouldn't you get bored of that? Wouldn't you get bored of saying the same thing over and over again?
Yeah.
At least I'm wondering that, but it's not going to be the case. So yeah, that's like our whole purpose, because I can't read the Bible every second of my existence. I need to eat, I need to drink, so sometime. I need to sleep sometime. But those angels don't get sleep. They don't get a break to eat food. They don't want a break to eat food. That's all they do. I mean, that's mind-blowing. So yeah.
Yeah. Which obviously it's a little. I feel like I'd imagine it's a little different in heaven for sure.
What do you mean?
They might not. They might not need food.
Oh,
to
no,
su-
yeah,
to,
100%.
to be sustained.
No,
or, whatever,
100%.
or just things like that.
Well,
sleep, whatever. It
I
is.
have food to eat that you do not know about. That food was...
Well, the food is probably them. The food and sleep and water, whatever it is probably them praying to God. all
Preach,
day.
bro. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah, the food Jesus was talking about that he has to eat that they don't know about is the Word of God.
Yeah.
The bread of life. That's why they call the Bible the bread of life.
Yeah.
Holy water.
Have you experienced like debates on Jesus before in your life?
Debates on Jesus.
Yeah. Like with close family and stuff.
My whole family's Christian. I don't know what I'd be debating. I mean, I've asked questions, of course.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
debate.
things definitely are interesting when you have one side of the family that's not really.
I
into
applaud
at
that.
all.
So
Yeah.
I respect you so much for that, dude. That's
Thank you.
actually like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's, I mean, you're evidence that like you don't have to be going to church every day, or your family doesn't have to take you to church every day and raise you in a Christian household to be Christian.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're proving that whole stereotype wrong,
Yeah.
which is great.
Which I don't even. I mean, people will look at me and think, oh, like it's not like I'm Asian and I live in a Buddhist household or something. But even my friend who you met, Evan, like he's like the same way, and he's been reading into Jesus or looking into Jesus too. And so, yeah. But I mean, I've followed, or I at least, I don't know, followed. I mean, believed in Jesus my whole life. I mean, because I don't want to. I mean, it depends what you mean by follow, but
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
but believed in Jesus my whole life, I would say. But and that's dudes are a big part of that. Definitely, my mom helped a lot in that, so that's good. You know, if I didn't have my mom, then that would definitely be a lot worse. Like dude, if my mom had passed when she was pregnant with my little brother, like she very well could have when she had her cancer. which she took the medicine instead of, it was like an 80-20 if she took one that was gonna kill Nico and have her alive, and then there was a 50-50 to save them both. She did a 50-50
Wow.
medicine. She chose that one and she survived, and so
It's like a coin flip, dude.
So thankfully I have Nico and my mom in my life.
Praise God.
'Cause if that didn't happen, then I don't know where I'd be, and I wouldn't have, like I said, I wouldn't have my mom, and my views on Christianity and Jesus as a whole definitely would have been shaped a lot differently over time, which I think there's a solid chance that I still would have found him over time, but it would have been much more difficult. Yeah. For sure. But
Wow, dude.
if anything, like I said, there's no specific circumstance. Like, if anything, it could have, that alone, or that unique story could have made me more inclined to believe in it of itself, if it had come to that. So, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting when we don't really. It's hard. It's hard.
Auggie, come on, not inside. Come on, Auggie. Come here. Hey, Auggie, come here. Come here. I know. You can't go inside.
I was saying it's important to remember too, like, when anyone feels like they don't amount to anything, feels, maybe not that, but just feels like that, like they're feeling down, whatever. It's important to remember your roots and where you came from, and the things that you've made it through, or the things that God's done for you, just things like that. You know, it's important to remember for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, if that had happened.
Hey, Auggie, come on. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if that did happen, then probably both our life trajectories would be like completely different, or at least different. Maybe not so much you, but at least for me, for either one of us, like we would have never met, and along the line, like we never really.
Yeah.
Because would you say our having each other's presence has definitely altered the courses of our lives?
I never would have known what dual enrollment was, man.
Yeah.
Like, I would have found out about that way too late.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a senior right now. I wouldn't be getting into it, well, hopefully getting into a nice university.
Yeah.
None of that would have happened. So, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, too, for sure.
But, yeah, it's definitely, it's crazy how, I mean, yeah, I wasn't even going to do band at Marshall. And I never would have known who you were. I would have known, I guess, who you were, but never would have really known you.
Yeah, gotta have this still go. Right.
But yeah, like, I was on the fence about doing band in Marshall. That was the only class we had to go.
Yeah.
So
Jazz and advanced.
you weren't there for jazz.
Yeah. Whatever.
So, yeah, I was in jazz. Well, actually, the first like week of Marshall, I wasn't even in band. I was in this class called Building Healthy Relationships. It was wild. With Miss Velasco or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. How different that could have been. But it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah. And it's very interesting too, like, we definitely grew closer, like, I would say after 8th grade ended. Like, more for sure. Yeah, dude. Like, because in 8th grade we were, like, friends, but I probably talked to other people more, like, hung out with other people more, too. Whereas, like, it changed, like, over time.
Yeah, 8th to 8th grade was a crazy year, bro. All 3 years have been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take a, what do you call it, like a blast from the past or whatever. Let's just dive into 8th grade. What's your fondest memories of 8th grade, would you say?
I don't know, man. Maybe the last few weeks of school were fun. I remember Miss Sampson's science class. I sat in the back with Carlos, Christian, and Easton.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. Band was fun. Yeah, playing piano for the whole class was fun.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Remember like the first few times of band? And the music awards and that was a good memory. The music awards and just general awards.
Yeah. And then we can't forget June 13th, 2022 or 2023, right?
What is
The promotion speech.
that? Bro, always goes back to you, huh? I'm just kidding.
You didn't even say anything specifically about you, so I don't know. But yeah, that was pretty cool. It was funny. We had all our friends there, and then it was just like I specifically remember Easton, all of them. They were just like, bro, I felt bad. They were like, bro, yours was so much better. I was like, bro. But I think my favorite at the end of the day aspect of 8th grade is when I just began to grow as an individual. I'd never before, and I made the most progress in that year, just whether it's physique or just as a person, just in general, out of like any point in my life before, I'd say.
Awesome.
And I'm a big part of, even if I don't agree 100% with Hamza, or if I don't like, or if maybe he's like past his prime or whatever, I think at the end of the day he still had a positive net impact on my life.
100%.
For sure. Yeah.
I would agree, dude. I think I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, with me or you, or both?
How that influenced you to give up video games or whatever.
Well, I mean, yeah, we probably wouldn't be sitting here right now if it weren't for like me looking at or just discovering Hamza in general. So. Hamza. Yeah. What do you think about social media as a whole? Would you say?
We might want to save that for another one, bro. That's gonna be a deep talk. I don't think it's great, but I don't know. I'm having conflicting.
Well, we
theories.
do have to recognize at the end of the day, it's just a term. It's just a term, right? So we have to define what we mean by social. I mean, it's just. I think it's probably more productive to talk about like specific apps, I guess, like which the main three would probably be
TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's interesting. The main thing, without even getting too detailed or going too far into it, my life like leveled up. I just feel like I felt so much better. Like I could actually enjoy life when I deleted social media and just video games. I stopped playing video games too. Like you could just enjoy a simple just existing. Whereas when you're playing video games and you're scrolling on social media, it's just like you need that to like survive. You know? So
I would kind of have to disagree with that.
or not survive, but just
Okay.
Well, maybe you could say that, but
I never
think a
felt
lot of
like I
people-
had to use TikTok to survive. I'm sorry, like I never felt.
But
that way.
okay, as crazy as that sounds, though, you gotta understand there's a lot of people out there can relate to what I'm saying. Like a lot of people feel that way. Like they'll say it too, like jokingly, like they literally like live on, like they can't live without social media.
That's
or video
really
games.
interesting.
Like
I mean, if you can find a way to moderate anything, I don't think it's bad. I guess that comes with some inherent guidelines. Don't say cocaine in moderation is good.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I
take-
had said before. Yeah.
But I'm saying if there's a way to like use Instagram efficiently and moderate it, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well, okay, but it all comes down to also, and I'm not sure if it's like I'm not sure if it's mentioned in the Bible or not, or biblically or not, but I think you could justify it. I think everything has a net, or at least almost everything, but probably everything has like a net positive or net negative. Whether it's to the minuscule amount or to the minuscule like positive. Where I didn't say that. I said that kind of weird. But like for example, this soccer goal right here, it's probably a net positive. Like my brother can use it. He could kick soccer balls in it. Whereas, say like his iPad, probably a net negative. He hasn't really needed it. He hasn't done anything like good with it. And I just think, like the way people see video games and social, honestly, probably the way people see video games and social media, deep down is just like they don't really see it as like a net positive or negative. Which I think when you don't look at things like that enough, I think that can become dangerous because you don't realize what's actually good or bad.
Thank you.
Because you don't actually, I feel like you don't actually realize what's good or bad when you don't look at things from as net positives or net negatives. You know?
Very interesting. Yeah.
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 Like for example, okay, this is a little more sensitive topic, right? Like abortion, they probably don't see it as like people who are for it, they probably don't see it as a net negative or a net positive. They just see it like it is. It is. They just see it. They don't see it as a positive or a negative. Like a lot of them, they can't really agree that it's a bad thing. You know, that's what I would think. You know, so.
Yeah, that is maybe we could save that one for another one too.
Yeah.
For another podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm just trying to like.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I'd love to go deeper into social media and all that on another one, but I'm having some conflicting theories.
Yeah.
We'll leave it on a cliffhanger.
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And
Peace out.
peace.